Hi everybody, it's Erin the Hiking Stitcher, and this is Flosstube number 7. Today is the 2nd of September 2024. It is Labor Day here in the States. So happy Labor Day, and thank you to all the labor unions who got us things like a 40-hour work week and no child labor. So this also brings about the unofficial end to summer. So today we're kind of transferring into not transferring into fall, transitioning into fall. So I figured this would be a really good day to sit down and share with you what I stitched and what I've been working on in August. So if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This is a channel about my cross stitching and my hiking and whatever else I feel like talking about. So let's talk about August. At the beginning of the month, I went to Camp Black Needle, and so you can take a look at Flosstube number 6 to see all the shenanigans we had there. And so since I got back from Kansas City, I have been a very prolific stitcher. Got a lot of stuff done. So I've got a new start, I have a finish, I have some haul, I have a couple of fully finished products, and I have quite a bit of whips. So let's kind of hop into that. Let me pull up my notes here so this way I don't forget stuff. Can't believe like 3 videos I've had where I've literally had to add in stuff because I forgot. So I had a total of 5 new starts this month, 3 of which you saw in my last video because I had the Kamala, the holiday snail, and the camper snail. The other one I had a brief start on, but I'm going to show you my progress on it. It is the Celebrate All Year. No, it's a good day to celebrate from the Black Needle Society. This was our theme for our retreat. So I got a little bit more done on it. So if I'm able to, I'll see if I have a picture of when I started it. It really wasn't a whole lot. So just imagine a blank canvas here. And there's my needle minder. There I am. This is what I've got done so far. So I have a mermaid and I have a strawberry. But that is way more than I had. And on the bottom, I'll show him off again just because he's so cute. This was my finish of the Camp Snail this year. So this was the Camp Black Needle passport snail, like world traveler type thing. So this was my finish. This is my start. And this is going to be what the pattern looks like. So I have the mermaid done, and I need to work on the strawberry. And so this will go back into my rotation, and I'll pick it up whenever I just need something random. This was not a planned, well, it was a planned start, but didn't really figure into any of my plans for the rest of the year. So I probably won't get a chance to work on this again until sometime next year, but it could come out. So that was new start number 1. And then new start number 2 is also some of my haul. I found this on Instagram. If I remember the Etsy shop, I will drop it here below. But I saw on the cross stitch calendar, somebody had a Green Bay Packers gnome. Now, it was cute. It was adorable, but I'm not a Green Bay Packers fan. So I went and I searched and I searched and I searched, and I finally found the Saints gnome. So hopefully inserting picture here or on the screen. So I decided that I wanted to stitch on this every time the Saints played. So I got a little bit of a start on it during the preseason game that I was able to see. And this will go with me on my trip next week because the Saints will start playing on the 8th. So it's not much, but I have the gnome's nose done. Cute little nose. So this is going to be a fairly quick stitch, but I'm only planning on working on it during football games. So when I'm sitting there watching football, I will be stitching on this little guy. So that was my other new start that I haven't shown you yet. By the way, are there any other Saints fans in here? Comment below if you are a Saints fan. Who dat? All right, so those were my starts. I also had one finish since I got home from camp. So let me show you. This is April from the Celebrate All Year sale from the Black Needle Society. And I still don't know which way is up. So I'll just show you. Here it is. Once I got into a little bit of a rhythm, this wasn't too bad. I still really don't like stitching on dark linen. So there was a lot of things that ended up being like over like 2-3 threads as opposed to 2. Some stuff got miscounted, but at the end of the day, it works. So this is going into my pile with the January, February, and March that's done. I'm working on May, so I'll show that here in a second. And I have not yet started June, July, August, or September. So I am behind on this. I am hoping to take some of this with me on vacation and get caught up a bit. But I'm very happy I got this one done because I said I hate stitching on dark linen. But yay, so here's my finish for the month outside of camp. I also finished 4 others. So I also finished Gilmoreisms. I finished my Kamala, gotta make sure I say it right, Kamala. My Kamala stitch from Rebel Stitcher Designs, the camper snail, and the holiday snail I just showed you. So overall, that was 5 finishes this month, which for me is a lot because normally I don't have any finishes in a month. So I'm going to set that aside. And so speaking of finishes, I actually had a couple things that I dropped off at the framer and got fully finished. Yay! I don't do this very often simply because it is expensive. My framer in town is a wonderful man. I can go there and he has a good eye for what works, and he does a very good job. But since I only really take the big things to finish, it's not cheap. So the first thing I got framed was my, I call it Seasons in Stars Hollow. The Black Needle Society released spring, winter, summer, fall in Stars Hollow. And so we had 4 digital retreats. I loved it. Gilmore Girls related, hooked me up. So I had that finished. So I think I showed you guys the finish, but here is the finish. So I'll show that here a little. Here we go. Weird glare. Hey, look, there's me. Oh, why is it giving me a thumbs down? I don't know. So maybe it's because of the, I bet you I know why. You see the little, the snowman is not a happy camper. So maybe that's why. So we have, over here we have spring, and then summer, then fall, then winter over here. And so I decided to go with a blue and orange because orange is just seems to be the color of Gilmore Girls a lot, but I didn't want the full thing to be orange. And there seemed to be blue in every single season of this. So there's my framed. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet, but it's framed. So set that aside here. And then I also got Gilmoreisms framed. So I finished off the Gilmoreism Stitch Along from Forbidden Fiber Co. And I finished this at camp, so I got to ring the bell at camp. And so I immediately took this to the framer, and I couldn't be happier with how this turned out. So let me turn this around here. And there it is. So I have, I decided to go with a purple mat because the I'm a Big Fat Flincher was purple, and there really wasn't a whole lot of other purple, and kept the same brown as the rest of the frame. And this, again, I could not be happier with how it came out. So it feels so good to have some of my stitching actually framed. Problem is figuring out where to put it. So that's going to be my job for September, is figuring out where I can put both of those. They're both Gilmore Girls themed, so yes, I have started my annual Gilmore Girls rewatch. I started that yesterday. I'm on season 1, episode 4. So those were my starts, my finishes, and my fully finishes. So I had quite a few actual whips. I'll give you my stats at the end, but I worked on 20 whips total. I'm not going to show you 20 whips because some of them were starts, some of them are finishes, some of them I only worked on at Camp Black Needle, so it's not in this video. But I'm going to try to remember to insert a photo of where it was at the beginning of the month, so that way you can see the progress that got made. So I'm going to start with the Zero to Hero stitch along through Fandom Stitching. So there is a Villains and a Heroes piece, and it's all in the shape of Mickey Mouse ears. So first thing I'm going to show you is my Heroes. So this month, I finished up Rapunzel, finally, and I finished up Robin Hood. So this is about half done. I'm still trying to play around with what I want the accent color to be. So I'm trying DMC Blanket-Toile, but it's hard to see it. It's supposed to be white, and white, as you can sort of tell, doesn't really show up well. You see, this guy hardly shows up. So I'm still trying to figure that out, but I figure if I can at least keep on getting a character a week, I will at least have the characters done by the end of the year. So this is Heroes. And of course, I have to do the accompanying villains. So I've got my villains piece. This is one that I started stitching the wrong way and just kept going with it. So this month I finally got to see just how close to the edge I could get. So here is my current progress on villains. And I worked my way around to this side. So as you can see, I have about 1.5 inches border. This is the furthest over it goes. So I got the Chernabog and these 2 other characters done. There we go. So again, this is a little bit over half done. You can see a little bit more of the white in between better on this one. But again, I'm still debating on that. But again, if I just go with a character a week. So this week I'll stitch another villain. Then next week I'll stitch a hero, and then villain, hero. And then if I keep going at that, I should have the characters done on both of them by the end of the year. These 2 are both going to go on vacation with me, so maybe I'll get a little bit of extra done, and that way I'm not rushing and stressing at the end of the year. So that is the Zero to Hero stitch along from Fandom Stitching Central. And then after I finished April from the Black Needle Society, I had to do May. I had just started it. I think I had maybe 1 strawberry done. I don't even think I have a starting photo, but if I do, you'll see it on the screen. But I got my, wow, you really can't see a whole, there we go. Do it that way. National Strawberry Month. So this one, again, is not too hard to stitch up, but again, I'm not the biggest fan of that dark linen. But my goal for September is to at least get this one finished and to start June. If I'm really ambitious while on vacation, I'll finish June as well, but probably not. But I definitely want to finish May at least. So that's where I'm at. Again, I don't even know which way is up. I mean, is it this way? Is it this way? I don't know. It's all going to be a round mounted thing anyway. So I just have to force myself to do this because as much as I like the strawberries, I don't like the dark. But after June, so June will also be on dark, and then I'm fine because then it goes back to a lighter fabric. So then I'm just going to kind of go through my big old pile here and in no particular order show you the other stuff that I've worked on. So pulling out my Frogwarts pieces, I did get some work done on year 1 and year 4. So I'll show you year 1. For those of you who haven't seen my previous video, I have already stitched all 5 years on individual pieces. I stitched those during the Frogwarts retreat. But then a couple years ago, Rachel, who I did Frogwarts with, decided she no longer wanted to do it and was selling her partially completed project where she's doing them all on one. So I said, of course I will do that. And so I have been working at it. She had all of year 3 and about half of year 2 done. So I figured this is just an interesting way to keep up with Frogworks because I love it. My individual pieces are stitched individually using the DMC conversion. This one is stitched all on one piece with, and there comes Bo down the stairs. But I'm using the called for over dies. So even though I come to the basement, Bo still eventually finds me. So say hello, Bo. What you do? See, it wouldn't be a Flosstube without saying hi to Bo. And then Bo also, by the way, wishes to say hi to his puppy buddy Pumpkin, because Pumpkin was my buddy that I got to meet at camp. Pumpkin belongs to my friend Cece, and they kept telling me that every time Pumpkin heard my voice on Flosstube, she would go crazy. So, hi, Pumpkin! Bo, so if you hear clickety, 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 that's Bo's nails walking around the basement. Anyhow, back to my stitching. So I got a little bit of year 1 done. I started the owl. So there's Hedwig. The band had already been started and the quote had already been started. So I really just had to do, so I've started Hedwig for a challenge. Because I believe one of the cards I pulled for my countdown to year 6 stitch along was stitch on something with an owl. And this is the only thing I had in progress with an owl. So then I did get some progress done on year 4. That was Rachel had decided to no longer participate before year 4 came about. So that had not been started at all. And so fold it up here for you so it's easier to hold up. But here is my progress on year 4. I got all the way down. So at the beginning of the month, I think I had the boot half empty, and I don't even know if I'd started the rings. The photo will tell. So this month, I was able to put in the Quidditch rings and finish the boot and work on the maze. So I'm going to kind of just keep working slowly across. And maybe I'll start year 5 at some point this year. If not, I'll start some of that next year. I'm under no time pressure to finish this. I eventually just want to get it finished. It'll get pulled out on occasion when there is a challenge for fandom or a challenge for my countdown to year 6 stitch along that my friend Redneck Bifocal Stitcher, I think for a second who's doing it, Sarah's doing it. In our Frogworks boxes, we all got a deck of cards. And so we figured there's 52 cards, 52 weeks until Frogworks next year. So once a week, we pick a card and stitch on that project for a week. So if that comes up, I will get some progress done on my Frogworks piece that way. So then let's see what else. So the next thing I worked on. Oh, and by the way, part of my haul, I bought bags from Amazon finally. I mean, I love the project bags that I get, like this, or that I get in my Frogworks or my Black Needle Society boxes, or if any of my friends love me and want to send one to me, or when my friends make some amazing stuff, and I'll tell you about those in a second. But otherwise, I've been storing all of my stuff in plastic Ziploc bags. So I found these. These are the biggest ones they have on Amazon, and these are huge, especially for some of my small projects. So these are very good. I think I got like 12 of them for like 20 bucks. It was cheap. So in this one, I am working on Hello Summer from Peppermint Purple. This project was originally a stitch along a couple years ago, and of course I never really kept up with it. So I bought it, never kept up with it. But I love doing black work. Peppermint Purple does amazing, amazing stuff. So this was a Whipco call for me in August, and I hoped I vamped enough so you could see my progress photo from the beginning of the month. So now I can show you how much I got done. I'm really, really proud of my progress. I finished the words, Hello Summer. I got the little shell and I got the balloons stitched, and I got the outline of the umbrella stitched. This is something that, and actually you can see, yeah, right here, this is like the edge of the sun. So eventually this will be like a little wreath, or at least, wreath of cool things going around the Hello Summer. And they just recently did a stitch along as a companion piece for this Hello Autumn. So that is something that is long in my stash. Not going to get started for a bit, but this is a nice quick stitch, and I'm actually super sad that it's not coming up again this year on WIPGO. So a lot of these projects you see, you're not going to really see again until sometime next year, or when I do my end of year WIP parade. So this is Hello Summer from Peppermint Purple. And I think I put in like a lot more than I expected. So roll that back up and easily stitch it, throw it in here. Also, let me show you the cool thing. So this is what it's going to look like when it's all done. There's the cover photo for it. So I still have a ways to go, but since 99% of this is in black work, it actually goes really quickly. All right. And then the next project I worked on was my Grand Teton wildlife sampler. So this is the cover photo. This was something, the only place I've ever found this is actually at the gift shop in Grand Teton National Park. So a lot of my projects that have to do with like a National Historic Site, the only way you can find them is if you are at like the National Park gift shop. So I found this one, and I thought this would be a great way to commemorate my trip to the Grand Tetons a few years ago. So at the beginning of the month, I barely had the buffalo done. I had just started, and then I charted it into max stitch, and boy did I fly. And I mean, as you can tell, I have most of the buffalo done. I just have to do the buffalo butt, and I have to do the little paw prints at the bottom, and then I just need to do the outline, and then I can move over to either the moose or the elk, whichever one I feel like. This will come back up. This is for Sampler September. I chose this one because it says Sampler in it. And it is something that travels easy with me because I will be doing a lot of traveling this month. And so the hope is that I can finish this if I'm lucky. But otherwise, you're going to see a ton of progress on this when I do my September wrap-up. So that is Grand Teton Wildlife Sampler. Then I pulled out the fire truck. I know you guys have seen the antique fire truck, and I know I've told the story about it. So pulling that out again, let me show you the cover photo first. So this will be what the cover photo looks like. It is an old Bucilla kit that I found at Walmart back in like 2005, 2006. And so this is my second start on it. My original start on it back in 2006 got so messed up that I threw it out and started over. So what you see here is my second start on it. And so this month, okay, come here. So this month I really focused kind of on this corner right here. So I've brought the background up a little bit, and I don't know if you can see it. I've started the back stitch because this is one of those, late 90s, early 2000s kit that was very, very backstitch heavy. And when I learned to cross stitch, I was told to all your cross stitching first and then backstitch. But now I'm learning, try to backstitch as you go if you can. So I got the top half of the ladder backstitch, and then I've got starting that background. And the background is going to be what, here, let me show you this, my whole progress. The background is going to be what takes the most time. So I have the truck done, I have the dog done, I do not have them backstitched, but now I have the background to do. So this is one, I said this is probably my oldest whip simply because I've been working on it in some way, shape, or form since 2006. So I think after I finish my current rainy day project, this may become my project that any day that it rains or storms, I pull out and try to get 100 stitches in just to keep making progress on it. So you may see this one again this year, maybe. Let's skip that one for a second. And then I got to work on my Christmas fleur-de-lis from Cottage Nest. So this I found at Accents and Stitches in Metairie, Louisiana. Metairie? Yeah. It is with my mother-in-law's local L&S. And so every time I would go there, I'd clean up because they have so many New Orleans-based patterns. So this was a Cottage Nest cross-stitch pattern, but then they actually kind of sort of recharted it for DMC. So the original was charted in DMC, and then they decided to do it with sulkies and petite treasure braid for this Christmas fleur-de-lis. Happy holidays. But I am doing the DMC conversion, and this is a very, very quick stitch. So I started this in May and got about 200 stitches started. And now, here's where I'm at. I have color completed 3 colors. So I've got the outline of the holly and all the berries done, and now it's just fill in. So that's what I'm going to be working on. So again, this may be a quick stitch to try to get done by Christmas. But if not, this will definitely be done next year, because this one, I literally, at this point, just have to fill in. So no major counting, just taking a look and figuring out when I need to swap colors, because I only have 2 colors left. So this is Happy Holidays, or as I put it in my files, Christmas fleur-de-lis. So it's a great way to honor my Louisiana family. And I keep that one in this bag. That was my mother-in-law's. So this was my mother-in-law Nita's one of her many stitching bags that I now own because she passed away a year ago yesterday. I miss her a lot. This actually, I don't know, that's one of her pieces. So figured this would be a good bag to hold on to the fleur-de-lis. And then let's see, I got some work done on 324. I have fallen behind on my goal of getting one little motif done every day to have this done within a year from March 24th. But I got more done than I thought I would. So I finished up this whole diagonal. Come on, hold it this way. There we go. This diagonal right here. And then I started this one. So taking a look at it, I'm now getting into the purples, which I really, really like, because then that means the blues and the greens are next. And as much as I love this color palette, I'm much more of a blue, green, yellow person. So this one I will keep in my stash, because if I'm caught up on all of my challenge stitching for the week, this usually gets at least a block or 2 put into it. So there might be some more progress on this next month. So keep an eye out for it. This is 324 by Works by ABC, and I am using all 324 colors that they give. I'm not using, there's a couple of different variations, but this one is a different color for each motif, which is actually nice because that's helping me see where my floss is and which ones do I not have at all. So sticking that in here. Yeah, see, this is my poor man's project bag, because I still need to order more from Amazon. And then I stitched on my rainy day project, which I keep in this Azkaban prison bag from the Black Needle Society. So this is The River from Modern Folk Embroidery. And I have been using this as my rainy day project since about April. So the idea is that every day we get some rain, I try to put in at least one thread length. Sometimes it's more, but at least one thread length. And this was also a WIPCO call for September, so I may have a finish on this when I talk to you next. Who knows? But let me show you where I'm at. So this, I am super, super stoked on this. Y'all, I have finished the bottom row. And I'm almost done with the outline. So the only thing I really have left to do in September is this one. So what I'm doing, and I think, again, if those of you who are returning, you've heard me say this before, but those of you who are new probably don't know this. I'm taking this motif and putting it up here as well because I don't like alphabets. Don't know why, it's just a me thing. Just something I just don't like. So this is how the pattern is charted, but I'm going to take this piece and move it up here as well. But that's really the last I have to do on it. So between rainy days and using this as one of my primary focus pieces for September due to WIPCO, I hopefully will get a lot of work done on this. Hopefully get a finish, I'm hoping. All right. So the last two pieces I worked on were my two Heaven and Earths, and I saved those for the end because I know that that is probably what I'm most known for amongst my stitchy friends is stitching the big pieces. So the first one that I worked on is Endurance, and I will stick a cover photo and or a starting spot photo. But when I started this, he literally had like no head. So now my little turtle has a head, or at least the start of one, and I really started working down his shell. I got, like, this is all stuff I got done early, and there's a lot of confetti over in here. So I said, I'm just going to work the shell down. So that's what I got done. A lot of good detail. So this piece will eventually go into the workout room, which is right over there. And this is on an 18 count using all the called for DMC. And this, while it's a Heaven and Earth, it's not a true full coverage, so I couldn't use this for a lot of my full coverage prompts that I wanted to. But I think of all of my Hades, this one is the furthest along percentage-wise. So we'll see. I will see him at least one more time this year on my WIPCO board. So you will see him again. And the goal next time is to maybe have a head. So that is Endurance. And the last but not least, my favorite. So you guys have been seeing this if you went to Camp Black Needle or to Steel City or to StitchCon, if you went to any of the retreats I went to and I spoke with you, you saw this at some point in progress. So this is Nola by Mandy Manzano art. And when I got a lot done, I know I showed you guys my progress that I made during Camp Black Needle, and I made some decent progress on it, but I really went to town on this and said, I really want to finish the top row. And so I put in God knows how many stitches, but I have the first full row done. It's not a full page finish because I realized after I'd already started that I still have to go down 2 more squares to get a full page finish, but now this is from left to right. And I'm so excited. This made me so happy to get this done. So I'll insert a photo so you can see where I was at the beginning of the month. But let me zoom in here. So really, other side. So after I got back from camp, I really focused on bringing down this whole side right here. Because I think I tried to do some of these magnolia leaves at camp, and just the white light just didn't work out well. So I got the magnolia leaves done. I got the top of this little beret done, and then I started bringing down the red. So this one, this I worked on very much, and I'm actually super sad that this is not going to be called again on my WIPCO board for the rest of the year. So, bummer. So you'll see this again at my whip parade and next year. I know somebody was asking me, and I don't remember if it was here or on Instagram or on a Flosstube. It's somewhere. How do I pick the projects that I work on for the month? So I'm a member of Fandom Stitching Central, and they have monthly prompts, weekly prompts, a couple stitch-alongs as a way to just kind of help you kind of work through your stash. Lots of fake points, no prizes, all glory. Go Team Mickey. But so that's how I kind of figure out what I'm going to work on week to week. But month to month, I've set up 3 WIPGO boards. Actually, I started off with 2, and then I ended up with 3. So thank you to Jessie Marie for coming up with the WIPGO concept way back when. So one WIPGO board is all of my full coverage Heaven and Earths. So each project is on there at least twice. My newer ones are on there 3 times. So Nola is one of my newer Hades. So this one got called 3 times. So it's done for the year. So that gives me 2 Hades a month to work on. And then I have one WIPGO board where it's all of the whips that I've had in progress for God knows how long. So things like that fire truck, things like the river, stuff that I've been working on for a long time and just need to keep making progress on. Those are on there twice. So I tend to see them twice, some of them 3 times. So I just literally went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. However many times I needed to get on there till I hit 25. And if I finish one, then I replace it with 1 because in May I did Mania for the first time, and so I did 20 starts in 20 days. So after I got 200 stitches in all of those, I said I need to keep going. So I created a 3rd WIPGO board for pretty much all my Mania starts. So all of those are on there at least once, some of them twice. So I can keep going on those. Because if it wasn't for Mania and my old WIPGO board, all I would be doing is working on Hades, because let's be honest, that's my jam. But I have a lot of stuff in progress. I have a lot of stuff in my stash that I love that I just need to work on. So that's how I come up with my focus projects for the month. And plus I'm working on 1 hero and 1 villain. So I'm working on that. So I think I probably have about 6, 7, 8 projects that are like, those are the focus projects. Those are the ones that are going to get the most love and attention. And then occasionally something else pops up. So things like a random stitch along, or I just feel like stitching this. I have a prompt that I have nothing else that fits it. I might as well work on this. So that's kind of how that goes. So those were my whips. And then finally, I did have a little bit of haul. I already showed you the bags. And then the other thing that I found on Amazon was a complete set of nerd hoops. I discovered these at Camp Black Beetle, and I bought a couple, and I've quickly fallen in love. I'm like, I need to get a full set. Or at least I had the number 1 and the number 3. So I said, let me buy 2 and 4. Well, it was cheaper for me to buy a set of 4 than it was for me to buy 2 individually. So here is the smallest one, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And so these, I think, are slowly going to replace my cheap hoops that I've had from Joann's or Walmart. So that's that. I think some other notes. Oh, and the rest of my haul. So the rest of these, I bought all digital patterns. So you'll see a picture here or here somewhere. So the first thing I bought was the Haunted Library Stitch Along from Lola Crow. It's not a stitch along anymore. It's been long finished. I watched people work on it. I've seen finishes of it. My friend Mariette is working on it on like 1/1 on like 2,000 million teeny tiny count. So I finally just went ahead and bought it. I may start it in October for kind of like a scary, spooky thing, because that's normally not my jam, but I like the Haunted Library. You saw the Saints Gnome already. You saw the hoops. And the other thing I bought was the Magic School Bus Stitch Along from the Black Needle Society. So that is the second year of this kind of charitable giving stitch along. Laura from the Black Needle Society works at a Title I school in the Kansas City, Missouri area, and they have a very diverse population, very high ELL population, free reduced lunch. So there's not a lot of stuff available. The parents really aren't able to financially contribute for supplies and things like that. And the school was just struggling because budgets were getting cut, things like that. So Laura and her daughter Katie came up with this idea of creating an Amazon wish list and having all the teachers just add to it. Go crazy. Something as simple as pens and paper, binders, Kleenex, to baskets, toys. The nurse adds a lot of like underwear, socks, clothes, because kids fall, all sorts of different things. So then they said, in order to get this stitch along, you have to purchase something off the Amazon wish list. And last year she created a Schoolhouse Rock pattern, which I've started, not even close to finished. This year she is doing a stitch along based on the Magic School Bus. So part 1 was just released this weekend. I'm waiting on my fabric from Be Stitch Me, so hopefully that'll be here soon so I can start it. But I think last year we raised $7,000, and this year we're at $5,000 and counting. So if you're interested in that, I will put the link to that in the description below, because it really, at the end of the day, it's for the kids. And then you get to work on a really cool pattern from the Magic School Bus. So that was my other haul. So let's see, what else is going on in my life? Let's see about that. So wrapping up August. So in August, I had 5 starts, 5 finishes, 20 whips that I've worked on or touched. This number boggles me, but I stitched 23,223 stitches in August. Holy crap. Retirement's good for stitching. I'm noticing this year I have more stitches than I've ever had, because the last couple years I focused only on Hades, and while they're fun, they're slower going. So being able to knock out a few things and just add to my stitch count's crazy. So then, as far as hiking goes, I haven't really hiked. It has been hot, it's been muggy, it's been disgusting. So my last major hike was Old Rag, which I think I shared with you like 3 videos ago. I don't remember now. But recently Tropical Storm Debbie came through here, and so I went up to my section of the Appalachian Trail to check, and there were 3 blowdowns. So I got to put my newly learned handsaw skills to use and clear the blowdowns and just generally just clean up the trail. So that was good. Through hiker season here is mostly done. I think most of the northbound hikers are in Maine now. But still, it's one of those things where it's kind of, the trail's my baby. I want to make sure it's well taken, looked after. So that was really the only thing I've done. But once I get back from my trip, fall really will have set in, and so I'll be up there a lot more often. But just, it's been buggy. There's been snakes, ticks, chiggers, hot, humid. Yeah, way too people-y. And so that's been my hiking. The other thing I wanted to mention, a lot of you know I'm normally an independent politically, but I have been super fired up about Kamala being nominated to be our next president. So I stitched the Kamala piece, and recently I came across a group, and I will drop a link to it in the description below, called Makers for Kamala. So there have been so many different Zoom calls focused on different, these are not organized by the campaign. These are organized just by people getting together. So they just did a Swifties for Kamala. They've done old white guys for Kamala, young black women for Kamala, teachers for Kamala. So they're doing a Makers for Kamala Zoom call next week. I will not be able to be a part of it because I'll be on vacation. But so if you're a cross stitcher, if you're a knitter, crocheter, if you're a maker of any type, and you are excited about Kamala's candidacy, check out the information. I'll drop it in the link below. There is a Facebook group, there's an Instagram page, And you don't have to donate to anything to sign up. I just signed up because they'll record the Zoom call, but they'll only send you the recording if you've signed up. So I did not have to donate, although I do encourage you to, but that is up to you. So that is the other big piece of news that's been going on. Otherwise, I leave this weekend for 2 weeks, and I'm going to England. This is mine and my husband's big retirement trip. We started planning it about a year ago, like right after Mom passed away, and it gave us kind of something to look forward to. And so we've been talking about it. We've been planning for it. We've been watching YouTube videos. We've been going through the guides and all sorts of stuff. And now it's here. So on Friday, we're going to head into DC. We're going to take the Acela high-speed rail from DC to Boston. We'll spend the night in Boston. And then Saturday, we're going to fly from Boston to Heathrow because it was actually cheaper that way to get the train and the plane ticket than to do that rather than just flying out of Dulles, which is our local international airport. So then we'll get into London early Sunday morning, do a lot of things. I think we've got tickets for the Harry Potter studio tour in Leavesden where they filmed it. We have tickets to the Globe Theatre. We have tickets to Westminster Abbey, Tower of London, and the Tower Bridge. And we have a long list of other things that we just want to do if and when we have time. Lots of things we want to eat, lots of places just like, hey, cool things to see. And then on Friday, we are taking a train from London down to Southampton. We're going to spend the weekend in Southampton, do a little touring around there. That's where the Titanic set sail from. That's where there's like a big air and space museum. And then we're going to pick up the Queen Mary 2 ocean liner to come home. So we leave on a Sunday and we will get back. We will sail into New York Harbor the following Sunday. So it's 7 days at sea. Yes, I know you could fly it in 6 hours, but there's just something about a crossing, something about doing what your ancestors did, albeit in a much nicer accommodations than my ancestors did. And also, I'm not a big fan of flying. And again, this is kind of a bucket list trip for the two of us. So we're going to spend time on the Queen Mary 2. And then when we get into New York, we have a couple hours to kill in New York before we pick up the train back here. So I will be off the grid for a couple weeks. Looking forward to that. I will be taking some small things to stitch. So I am hoping to have at least one start and one finish, maybe 2 finishes, maybe 3, who knows. But just a lot of stitchy time, certainly on the train, certainly on the boat. There even is a crafter's hour on the boat every day. So anybody who's like, again, cross-stitch or needlework, knitting, crocheting, that kind of stuff, meet up and hang out with other people. So there's that. And so that's the big thing coming up. So my next Flosstube, I'll really just have a really cool trip recap. So let me know in the comments below if you want me to do kind of a vlog or just a quick recap, or do you not care? I'm sure I'll have some pictures, and I certainly have some stitching to share with you at the end of the month. So other than that, I think that's about it. So anyhow, if you like what you see and you're not already subscribed, please do so, because that just makes my little heart happy to get a little notification. Ring the notification bell, all that stuff on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram if you don't already. I am Walking in Stitches on Instagram, and you'll see a lot more in, progress photos and different things going on. But other than that, as always, have a wonderful day and never forget to stitch your own stitch. Have a great day.